Every person you meet is a chance to see the world through new eyes. You can either choose a happy, conventional, and stress-free life, or you can choose a very interesting, but more difficult and meaningful life. Let the past guide you, but don't let it write your present. It reflects where you've been, but it has no authority to script where you're going. Sure, let its lessons shape your wisdom, its scars build your resilience, and its victories fuel your confidence. But don't let it define you. Too many people allow yesterday's mistakes, heartbreaks, or even triumphs to hold them hostage in a cycle of stagnation. They mistake history for destiny. That's the trap. The truth is, the past is only as powerful as the meaning you give it. If you let it write your present, you're surrendering your power to evolve, to rewrite, to create. So, learn from it, honor it, but don't let it chain you. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning. And the pen? That's firmly in your hands. The more you simplify your life, the richer it becomes. What you give to the world often comes back to you in unexpected ways. Leap of faith. Yes, but only after reflection. The unhappy person is never present to themselves because they always live in the past or the future. Life is better when you focus on the solutions, not the problems. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Don't be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone around you. Putting off until tomorrow is your weakness. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to stop participating in it. The truth is a trap. You cannot get it without it getting you. You cannot get the truth by capturing it, only by its capturing you. On the secretly blushing cheek is reflected the glow of the heart. A rainbow only appears after rain, but some people would rather curse the clouds. Everyone wants to skip struggle, not knowing that's where character is built. Self-pity is dangerous. Stay away from it. Your actions should align with your values, not others' expectations. Making too many efforts to forget someone is remembering them all the time. Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. The question is not to be or not to be. It is what we should be until we are not. A life filled with gratitude leaves little room for regret. Work for it more than you talk about it. Stop choosing what's not choosing you. Learn to be okay with not being invited, included, or considered. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and beautiful in the end. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. It is very important in life to know when your cue comes. You don't need to move mountains. Just take one step forward. Once you are mature, you will realize that silence is more powerful than proving your point. A lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Your legacy is built in the moments when no one is watching. Strength grows in moments when you think you can't go on, but you keep going anyway. Once you are born in this world, you're old enough to die. Hope is a passion for the possible. Never trust a person who rarely questions their own beliefs. A meaningful life is not measured by length, but by depth. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a tree to grow. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Don't let new wisdom lead you to condemn yourself over old struggles. My sorrow is my castle. A no does not hide anything, but a yes very easily becomes a deception. Don't fear being misunderstood. Fear being untrue to yourself. Leave when a promise turns into a sorry. You don't find your purpose somewhere else. You create your purpose, exactly where you are, and you bear meaning to it. Trust is fragile. It takes years to build, seconds to break, and a lifetime to repair. When you blame someone else for your problems, you're giving them power over you. You're allowing them to define and dictate your happiness and well-being. The way you treat others reveals who you are, not who they are. In the face of adversity, choose to grow, not to grumble. The more people who believe something, the more apt it is to be wrong. The person who's right often has to stand alone. To be lost in spiritlessness is the most terrible thing of all. In relationships, love can fade if respect is allowed to die first. Sometimes the best way to heal is to walk away without looking back. No single thing will solve all your problems. No goal, no achievement, no relationship. You will always feel mildly inadequate and somewhat dissatisfied with your life. A happy life is not a life without stress. It's a life of meaningful stress. To heal old wounds, you might have to bleed again, this time on your own terms. Cultivate the will. This is the armor that preserves the mind. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. The cost of inner peace is often the courage to walk your own path. Boredom can be a breeding ground for brilliance if you harness it creatively. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. There are no bad emotions, only bad reactions to them. You have to learn how to channel your negative emotions in a constructive way. People who show you new ways of thinking and new ways of seeing life are important. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. You don't have focus, not potential. You lack consistency, not skill. You lack strategy, not resources. You lack discipline, not capability. Your future is in your hands, and the doubt is in your head. What is youth? A dream. What is love? The dream's content. We were given the commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. But if this commandment is correctly understood, then you can read in it the opposite statement. You must love yourself properly. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. We are the average of the people we spend time with. Surround yourself with good people to be a good person. Don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. You won't forget some bad things. You just stop caring. Until that happens, don't stress too much about it. It's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let naysayers discourage you because they may be projecting their own insecurities. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. If you don't clean up what's in your head, you'll drop what's in your hands. Never share your problems with friends before finding a solution, no matter how challenging it is.